Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you very much for joining me. Today is Sunday, June 8th, and St. Louis Battlehawks, woof, not good. Not a good game. Not a good game. Not a bad game. Terrible, actually. Is the way I would kind of phrase it. Um, when there's a term when a team has a good regular season, like when the Battlehawks were 7-3 2 years ago, and then 7-3 last year, and then 8-2 this year, and then you get to the first round of the playoffs, and then you don't just lose, but you get your dicks ripped off. Let me go back to, I believe, 2022 when Ezekiel Elliott came in for the Cowboys on their last play of the game, and he was under center, and he got exploded. Um, the St. Louis Battlehawks are the Dallas Cowboys. Congratulations to your regular season success, regular season champions. Some might say regular season champions. Hang the banner. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive if you ask me. That's you know, it is tough. It is tough to win 8 games. It is tough to win 8 games. So it's very impressive that they went 8-2. You know, it doesn't mean anything at all. If you and especially it especially doesn't mean anything since they just didn't show up to this game. They just didn't show up. I mean, even remotely. Guys, it's tough to be like, yeah, the team played poorly, or these guys fucked up, or that guy fucked up. What the hell is this coverage? It's tough to find out and decipher which is which. A very good way of finding out whether or not it is on the coaching is by the tackling, the missed tackles in this case, just the amount of blown coverages, the lack of production defensively on first and second downs. Not being able to stop the run, the oldest thing in football. There's a handful of things that you can kind of look at throughout a game and be like, oh, this team was poorly coached and didn't show up for this game. The only win or die game of their season so far. They went into it winning 6 straight games, and then went into this game and they didn't shit the bed because they didn't have a bed to shit in. Like they didn't show up there. They weren't. The defenders had, what's that, 8 real drives? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 real drives. Sorry, they had 9 real drives. And guys, they scored on 7 of them. They scored on 7 of their drives. That was good. That first drive, their first drive when the Battlehawks kicked off, which they shouldn't have done. Or no. Yeah, they kicked off at the beginning of the game, which they shouldn't have done. They did get it. Their defense did get a 3 and out, which was good. Unfortunately after that, it was touchdown, interception, and that was really good. And that was something that kind of rejuvenated the crowd, because I believe at that point were the Battlehawks down, fucking 14 points, or was it 20 points at that point? I can't remember. No. They would have been down 14 points at that point, when they finally got the interception, which was very nice, and that kind of rejuvenated the crowd falsely, but it did. But it went punt, touchdown, interception, field goal going into halftime. Touchdown, field goal, and then a turnover on downs in a clock killing drive. Man, what a piece of shit that game. That defense sucked. Oh, brother, that was brutal, dude. That was brutal. That was tough. was a tough watch. The defenders, they had 24 total first downs. Battlehawks had 18. The problem is that the defenders. Did I say Brahmas or defenders? The defenders had 24 total first downs. The thing is that they were 7 for 11 on third downs, which means that, of their 24 first downs that they got, there's a cool 17 of them were off of first and second downs, and you ain't gonna win games if you in order to get to fourth down, you have to get to third down. And if you're only getting to third down 11 times in a game and you're letting 7 of those third downs actually, work and convert, you're fucked. And that is exactly where this defense was, man. It was just dog shit. And I didn't think that the defense was going to be like that. I thought that the offense was going to be dog shit and the defense would be fine. I was banking, man. There's a thought here in that, if you are, so undoubtedly the quarterback is the most important position in all of professional sports, let alone football. And there's a thought that if the quarterback on your team is the most important position in all of football, is not the most important position on your team, and where the Battlehawks were, the most important position on their team was their 2 edge rushers. And their defensive line in general, turns out not just the edge rushers, you're fucked. When the most important person in general is not the most important person on your team, it's like, yeah, well, it turns out if the other people that this defensive line, if the people that on your team are the most important who aren't the most important on other teams, whenever your priorities are different than other people's priorities and your priorities don't show up, it's like, oh, well, then there's kind of a bad situation. Now, to be fair, there's no reason we should have thought that this defensive line wouldn't show up. Austin Falliou was out, which sucks for him because now he's not, get another chance. But there's no reason to think that the defensive line was going to play this bad. They have not played this bad since, probably about 10 weeks ago when they, played this team the last time. It's, again, probably should have seen. Maybe had some rose-colored glasses on at that point. That's a thing people say, right? I think so. Deion Jackson, their running back, 21 carries, 110 yards. Abram Smith, 13 carries for 164. Between their 2 running backs, and then Jordan Tomlin, 2 carries for 13. Who really gives a shit about that? We're talking about things that are kind of like sticky, but Deion Jackson, and Abram Smith, 34 carries by themselves, 34 carries, 3 touchdowns, and 174 yards. Where the Battlehawks, with the best running back in the UFL, he had 9. Jacob Sailors, he had 9 carries for 45 yards, and Jarvian Howard had 5 carries for 5 yards, and then Max Duggan had 8 carries for 33 yards. And now listen, the Max Duggan of it all started off the game, not good but fine. It kind of immediately turned into like, okay, this is gonna be this kind of a Max Duggan game. This is what this is gonna be on that first drive. They're backed up really deep, and like it started on the 2-yard line, and then it was like a 1-yard run, and then a deep shot to, I think it was to Ja'Cour Pearson, and he didn't catch it, and it's like, fuck, dude. And then it was 3rd down, and they line up an empty, and it's like, oh, they're going to throw the ball. They're not doing the thing where they're just going to try to get their punter some room. And then Max Duggan takes it, and how many yards was that on that first drive? Come on. First quarter, that 3rd down. Oh, I'm seeing lightning outside. God, don't do this goddamn bullshit. For 23 yards. He had a 23-yard rush on a 3rd and 9. And then the play after that, dude, gets a strip sack, man. These tackles, this game. Listen, Max Duggan's not a good thrower of the football. Nobody's saying that he ever has been or is. But you got to at least give him a little bit. Like, the interior played good. Steven Gonzalez and Mike Panashuk and Donovan West played well. But, man, It's the same thing that we saw in that first game, man. The fucking edge or the tackles just got their dicks kicked in left and right. It sucks. That's tough. Max Duggan ended up going 7 for 14. Congratulations, 50% completion rate for 105 yards and an interception. Brandon Silver, 6 for 10, 81 yards and a touchdown, 60% completion rate, and then he got hurt. It's like man, and people will bitch about the quarterback being like, oh, should put Brandon Silvers in earlier. Man, that defense sucked ass. Like maybe, and to be fair, the Max Duggan ball security, you can listen, you can blame, like, yeah, he's getting hammered by the offensive line, and that's very fair. I'm not saying that it's not fair. Like, yes, the offensive line, specifically the tackles, did not play good. But Max Duggan's in charge of ball security, man. Max, you are in charge of ball security, and you are not securing that ball, dude. You're fumbling like an asshole, man. What are you doing? Why are you doing that to me? Come on, dude. Yeah. Offensive line is in charge of blocking. Pressure's coming off the offensive line. Yes, I get it, but Max Duggan, buddy, I probably would have, if my quarterback in a do or die game is fumbling twice, throwing an interception once, you're walking a tightrope there, bud. You're walking a tightrope there. I'm glad I didn't have to make the decision. But man, you are flirting with disaster there. And he did get pulled at halftime, and which is, if you're going to pull a quarterback, that's the right time to do it. And I know I've kind of shit on the whole thing where coaches will have a running back who fumbles, and it's like, yeah, they put him in timeout, and I think that's dumb, because that is, but that's different with it's a running back rather than a like, it's like he's getting head on or the ball punched out, ball security that way. It's like, yeah, no, that's kind of fluky. But when a quarterback is throwing interceptions and getting the ball punched out from behind and that kind of stuff, it's like, man, you're the quarterback, dude. You're a quarterback. You're supposed to be able to sense people behind you. I don't know. I'm glad I didn't have to make the decision to pull Max Duggan, and then, man, what a kick in the dick that he has to go back into the game. It's like, dude, just fucking kill me now, man. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and that's it. And honestly, I've been saying Anthony Becht is doing something right with him being able to win this many games, and he clearly did. And the problem is that, so in 2022, team didn't make it to the playoffs, even though they had a 7-3 record. Last year they did. They choked in the first round. Now, in that situation, the AJ McCarron was playing with a fucking peg leg. And then this year, the defense that has been playing so steadily for so much of the season didn't show up. And it's different shit that you can look at for each and every game. But the one constant, there is Anthony Becht, and it's the play callers have changed. Now, to be fair, Donnie Abraham has been there too, so it's not like he's completely out of the coming out scot-free or anything like that. It's like, yeah, no, his unit shit the bed today too. But brother, so many things went wrong. I don't even. It's like I don't. Where the fuck do we begin with this? Like, I don't. If I'm those guys, I walk into the film room the next day. They won't, because they're fucking done. I would walk into the film room the next day and be like, hey, who wants to raise their hand and be like, yeah, I fucked up the worst. Like, that's how I would start that. Be like, who does anybody want to just jump in front of a train and say, hey, this is where I fucked up? That's where I would start with the meeting tomorrow. But, they ain't going to do that. Man, that was just gruesome. Tony having a bad challenge. It was always going to be Tony. It was a challenge for a pass interference, and I mean, there might have been 3 seconds that passed between that play being blown dead and Anthony challenging a pass interference. And I looked at my wife sitting next to me. I said, if I hear Mike Pereira say bang bang play, I'm gonna kill myself. And then And then 2 minutes later, Mike Pereira said bang. It was a bang bang. He said, he might have got there a second early, but when you're watching it in full speed, it's a bang bang play. And I didn't kill myself, so I'm a coward too. You're listening to a coward. I just feel like maybe we don't do the super challenge anymore. I just feel like, hey, you know what? We've given up on what the consistency and the officiating is. Everybody sucks at calling it, and they call it at the wrong times. They can't handle their privilege, and then when they do get their privilege, we say, "Go fuck yourself." That's not a penalty. Because they're challenging to slow it down in super slow motion, and then we do it in super slow motion, and they're like, yeah, actually it is a penalty in super slow motion, but in real motion, what we all saw, it wasn't a penalty there, and maybe we just get rid of the super challenge. I think I'm done with it. We tried the experiment for 3 years. We're fucking done with it. We're done with it. You guys can't call it right. The coaches are fucking retarded, and they do just a bunch of dumb shit stuff when they call it. It's like maybe we're just, society's not at that point yet. We're not responsible enough to make a correct ruling, and they're not responsible enough to actually make the call and make the challenge right. It's like, I think we're all just fucking idiots. I think we're all just dumb. And then I'm sitting here gonna have a goddamn aneurysm because some dumb fucking big Italian fuckhead named Anthony Becht is calling his fucking challenges 3 seconds after nobody's had time to get into his headset to tell him to do that. So I can't be like, hey, Tony, stop listening to people. And Tony just did that one off of emotion. And it's like, Tony, you're a fucking moron, dude. It's like, bud. We're all dumb. We're all dumb. That's the point of all this. We're all dumb. We're dumb for believing in this team. We're dumb for thinking that something would go different. We're dumb for watching this game. We're dumb for thinking that what could go wrong is not what went wrong. Yes, the offense sucked, but the defense was worse. It's like, man, I don't know. Guys, that's it. That's the end of the season. Battlehawks, done. Yeah, UFL still rolls on, I guess. They're going to be in St. Louis again next week. I went last year, and I got to accost Tom Brady in the 300 level. So that was nice. If you're looking to accost Tom Brady, sure, do that. Feel free. I probably won't go there, though. I probably won't watch it. It's like I've gone through a lot. I've gone through this in the past. Let's see. It is June, so 6 months back to December. And then 3 months before that was, my football, like covering games week in, week out. I had like a nice month break there between the NFL and the UFL. But it's been pretty much I've probably spent 10 hours a week not watching, like rewatching games, if not more than 10 hours a week. Rewatching football games for of the past 9 months, probably 6 of them, no, 8 of them. Spent 10 hours or more rewatching both Eagles and Battlehawks games for 8 of the last 9 months. Buddy, it is exhausting. It is exhausting. Part of me is like, man, yeah, it really sucks that this. And most of me is like, yeah, it sucks that this team lost. Like they had everything set up for them once again. Where are they going to do that? You're going to do the UFL championship in St. Louis again next year? You think you're going to do that? I don't think so. I think they do it in Seattle. Seattle's going to be like the new expansion team, so they probably do it there. All right. I'm tired. And now my watch has ended, as has yours. Thank you. This has been solid. I appreciate you guys watching this, and leave it for me, the last show of the year. If you're watching this and you want to listen to it, go for it. It's at Solid on Apple and Spotify. It's at Solid Pod on YouTube. But guys, I'm signing off. Go Birds. Ironbirds ain't got it. Ironbirds ain't got it. Cause not the law. Cause not the law. It's not cacaw. That ain't it. That ain't it. The shield's up, fellas. Turns out if you're like, hey, caw is the, and then somebody has a shield in front, it's like, oh fuck, the shield outdid the caw. You know, if there was ever a thought, that's what it is. But all right. That being said, if you do say anything to anybody anywhere in the world, they're going to be like, oh, that's a Battlehawks guy, is all that is. That's all that is a Battlehawks guy. Like, at the game today, this motherfucker sitting like, so I'm in row, or I'm in seat 1, I'm in seat 2, my wife is in seat 1, and then there's the aisle there, and then there's some fucking chonko guy that's sitting in like seat 19, which is the one opposite side of the aisle. And so the way that the challenges worked in this game is that Tony used his challenge. I was like, no, Tony, that's fucking stupid. And I yelled that. That's not how you do it. And then, which is the Shannon Harris? Is that the guy's name? I can't remember what his name is. But that fucking DC coach, he goes, he does his challenge on the play that Hakeem Butler scored on, which was a sick catch. Beautiful catch. Love that shit. Beautiful catch. But then he uses that challenge, and I said, I was like, that's a good challenge. You should do it then. When the guy catches on a scoring play, congratulations to Anthony on waiting until the second half of the game. Like, fucking hell yeah, dude. Congratulations on that. That's so much self-restraint for you. It was stupid, and it was really dumb, but congratulations on not doing it in the first half of the game. But so, yeah, defenders use their challenge. I'm like, okay, hey, good. I appreciate the art at this point. It's the art over the artist. I'm like, okay, that's a good challenge. Good on you for using your challenge right then. I appreciate it. And then after the challenge isn't successful, this big fat fuck sitting 3 seats away from me, sitting 7 feet away from me, goes, oh, it wasn't that good of a challenge. It's like, actually, you big fuck, it was a good challenge. Don't tell me it wasn't a good challenge, you shit. What are you talking about? It was a great challenge that he did. He used it at the perfect time. You're up 20 goddamn points. Use your challenge then. What are you talking about? What, not a bad challenge? You could come at me with a bad challenge? You eat my dick. Oh, I did not like that. And then also, and so obviously by me saying that guy was like, oh, that's just the Battlehawks guy. Obviously the situation kind of given that. But then on the other side of me, there was a guy before the game. He goes, oh, so were you like? I sat down, and the guy goes, oh, so were you a Rams fan? It's like, oh, not really. I'm more of an Eagles guy. Couldn't tell because of the hat. He goes, oh, so you probably wouldn't get this shirt. And then he looked up his shirt, and then he had the shirt on that said, go fuck yourself, Kroenke, and the picture of Stan Kroenke. It's like, I don't know if I give off dumbass, but I'm really trying my best not to give off dumbass. I get the context of the shirt. You're the dumbass. Like, will you think this is some kind of inside joke that my dumb shit brain is never going to be able to comprehend? You think that your shirt that says, go fuck yourself, Stan Kroenke. It has 4 words. Go fuck yourself, Kroenke. That's all your shirt. And you think that your shirt is too high level for my brain. You go fuck yourself for thinking I'm a dumbass. You might not have said, hey, you're an idiot, but what you said without your words was, oh, this guy doesn't understand this shirt. It's like, brother, I get it. I'm not a dumbass. All right? I get it. I didn't say any of that. I was like, no, I get it. But by me saying that, he was like, oh, this guy's a Battlehawks guy. That's all he is. All right, guys, until next time. This has been solid. I appreciate you. If you're one of the few people in the entire population that actually give a shit about UFL coverage outside of just watching the game and being like, hey, football in the spring, you're a fucking disgusting psychopath, and I love that about you. I love football. Football is my favorite thing in the entire world, and I hope that during these shows this year, I expressed that and my passion for it, and I hope maybe I taught you something about football. Hopefully I entertained you is my main goal, because I'm an idiot and I say wrong things all the time. But hopefully I was entertaining to you. Hopefully you like football a little bit more, and hopefully you, I don't know, aren't tearing yourself up over this game too much. I'm not trying to shame you if you are. Like, listen, what you care about, you care about. When the Eagles lost to when the Kenny Pickett led Eagles lost to the Commanders in Week 16, I threw a remote across the room and I broke it. It's like you care about what you care about. I'm not trying to shame you. I'm just for your mental health as a person who has cared too much about things that are inconsequential. I'm not going to try to say it's inconsequential. It's football. Football means, some people football's a game. Some people football is life. And your boy is in the latter. So, you know what? Hopefully I kind of showed that to you. I'm getting mushy. Let's end this with like a cum joke. I don't have a cum joke off the top of my head. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.